The moment the progress bar finally hits 100% and your Galaxy device reboots for the last time, something quietly shifts in the air around it. There's no fanfare, no dramatic chime, no flashing banner announcing a revolution. Just a slow, deliberate awakening of the display, followed by a lock screen that feels less like a static image and more like a living space. You reach for it, your thumb meets the glass, and the unlock animation doesn't just slide. It breathes. The weight of the interface has changed, not in grams, but in intention. One UI 9 isn't an update you scroll through, it's an environment you step into, and after spending real time navigating its currents, testing its edges, and living with it through work, travel, creativity, and quiet evenings, it becomes unmistakably clear that Samsung has stopped asking how many features they can pack into a screen, and started asking how little friction they can leave in its place. This is no longer software that demands your attention. It's software that finally understands how to give it back. The first place you feel this recalibration is in the Now bar. For years, it sat at the bottom of the screen like a passive information ticker, occasionally useful but mostly forgettable. One UI 9 transforms it into a dynamic command center. When music or a podcast plays, the track title doesn't hide behind a collapsed player. It floats at the top of the bar, crisp and immediately readable, while a subtle, color-reactive wave animates along the bottom edge, shifting hue and intensity based on the audio's rhythm and your wallpaper's palette. Skipping tracks isn't just a tap anymore. The buttons respond with a soft, bouncy micro-animation that confirms your input without feeling mechanical. Long press the bar, and instead of being routed through 3 layers of menus, you're handed direct access to volume, brightness, and connectivity toggles. It's a small change in taps, but a massive change in rhythm. Hey, the Now bar no longer waits for you to navigate to it. It meets you where you are. Move to the home screen, and the design philosophy reveals itself in quiet confidence. The signature rounded corners that have defined Samsung's soft, friendly aesthetic for generations have been refined into sharper, more precise edges. This isn't a rejection of warmth. It's an embrace of clarity. Sharper corners allow widgets to align tightly within a grid structure, eliminating wasted space and creating a visual cadence that feels intentional rather than accidental. On larger displays like the Ultra and upcoming foldables, this matters. Every millimeter counts. But Samsung hasn't forced uniformity. If you prefer the organic, approachable feel of rounded widgets, a simple toggle lets you revert to the classic style. The system doesn't dictate your taste, it respects it. This flexibility extends to the entire home screen architecture. App grids are cleaner. The Finder chip now intelligently adapts its text color to ensure readability against any wallpaper, and the widget picker previews have been redesigned with bolder typography and clearer hierarchy. It's digital minimalism with purpose, stripping away visual noise while preserving depth and functionality. When you open the gallery, the workflow transforms from guessed work to precision. Selecting multiple images for sharing or editing used to be an exercise in memory and anxiety. Tap, scroll, tap again. Wonder if you accidentally deselected that third photo. One UI 9 solves this by anchoring live preview thumbnails at the top of the screen. As you tap through your library, your selections stack horizontally in crisp, miniature frames. You never lose track, you never second guess. Search has also matured. Typing a keyword like beach or receipt doesn't just filter files. It highlights the exact term within image metadata and OCR text, wrapping results in a bright, unmissable container. Inside the editor, the tool buttons are now labeled with clear intent. Undo instead of previous, redo instead of back. When you switch to the drawing tool, the S Pen produces a faint, satisfying scratching sound against the digital canvas, mimicking the tactile feedback of graphite on paper. It's a detail so small it's almost invisible, but so deliberate it changes how creation feels. You're not just editing pixels, you're interacting with a medium. Samsung Notes has undergone an equally profound evolution, shifting from a simple text pad to a legitimate creative and productivity workspace. The new note creation experience lets you choose paper styles before you even write. Blank canvases for sketching, lined pages for lecture notes, dot grids for design planning, journal templates for daily reflection, and even recipe layouts for meal tracking. Each note can now wear a custom cover, patterns, illustrations, bold typography, or stickers, turning a chaotic list into an organized library. But the real breakthrough is the tape tool. Switch to S Pen mode, activate the tape feature, and draw over any section of text to conceal it. Customize the thickness, color, pattern, or transparency, then use it for active recall. Write a question, Cover the answer, test yourself, lift the tape. For students, language learners, and professionals memorizing complex data, it's transformative. PDFs import directly into Notes as editable, annotatable documents. Tables are finally native, with customizable borders, header highlighting, and text alignment. Opacity controls for pens and highlighters allow for layered, professional-grade shading. And Creative Studio lives inside the app, turning rough sketches into polished illustrations with AI-assisted style transfers that run entirely on-device. Your ideas stay yours, your process stays private, your output stays powerful. The Quick Panel has been completely untethered from its old constraints. Tiles are now slightly more compact at the top, but the brightness and volume sliders have grown noticeably thicker, making them easier to grip and adjust without accidental overshoots. Dark mode and sound profile are no longer buried in submenus, they exist as standalone, resizable toggles. You can place exactly where your thumb naturally lands. When you enter the editing mode, you can shrink sliders to their absolute minimum, expand media players in all directions, and, crucially, add controls directly to the expandable area without dragging them through an intermediate screen. Samsung finally listened to years of user feedback and removed the friction. The media player itself has been rebuilt. The output switcher is now a clean icon. Song titles are centered. The progress bar features a larger, smoother cursor with a completely new animation curve, and tapping any control triggers a subtle haptic and visual confirmation. It's not flashy, it's fluid, and fluidity is what makes an interface disappear into your routine. Beneath the visual refinements lies a system architecture that has been fundamentally recalibrated for longevity and intelligence. Built on Android 17, UI 9 benefits from deeper kernel-level optimizations that prioritize predictive memory allocation. The OS now learns your daily rhythms, pre-warming frequently used apps in RAM before you even open them, while aggressively suspending background processes that exhibit abnormal wake cycles. Thermal management has shifted from reactive throttling to proactive distribution, using graphene, layered cooling, and AI-driven workload balancing to keep the device cool during sustained video rendering, split-screen multitasking, or gaming. Battery life doesn't just last longer, it lasts smarter. Charging profiles adapt to your sleep schedule, slowing past 80% to reduce electrochemical stress, while custom limits let you cap at 90% if you leave your phone plugged in at a desk. These aren't user-facing toggles. They're invisible guardians of your device's health, working silently to ensure your Galaxy doesn't degrade over years, but matures with them. The ecosystem experience has finally matured into a seamless continuum. DeX is no longer just a mirrored desktop, it's a fully virtualized workspace. You can now preview multiple virtual desktops directly from the recent apps screen, create new workspaces with a single tap, and drag windows between them without breaking focus. A new menu overlay lets you move any application to a different desktop instantly, while the status bar and taskbar can be set to auto-hide for distraction-free immersion. Cross-device continuity operates over encrypted local protocols. Copy text on your phone, paste it on your tablet or Windows PC within a second, start a call on your watch, hand it off to your phone as you leave the house, finish it on your laptop without dropping a syllable. File sharing no longer respects brand boundaries. QR-based and Wi-Fi Direct protocols allow secure transfers to iOS and other Android devices without cloud dependencies or account friction. Your phone isn't trying to trap you in a walled garden. It's trying to connect you to your life, regardless of what hardware you choose to carry. Privacy and security are no longer afterthoughts or premium upsells. They are woven into the foundation. The autoblocker now features a dedicated stats dashboard, showing you exactly how many unverified apps, malicious links, or unauthorized USB commands have been intercepted over the past week and 6 months. It's transparency you can measure. Lockdown mode functions reliably, instantly encrypting biometric data and requiring your PIN or password when activated, giving you absolute control in high-risk situations. Permission controls have been rewritten with human clarity. Grant camera access for one video call, location access for a single ride, microphone access for a specific voice note, and let the system auto-revoke them when the task is complete. Every background hardware access triggers a subtle, non-intrusive indicator in the status bar, and with one swipe, you can sever the connection permanently. The rumored privacy screen feature has been integrated deeply, using front-facing spatial mapping to detect secondary viewers and automatically blur sensitive notifications or app content. It's not a physical filter that dulls your display. It's a software layer that respects your dignity in shared spaces, running entirely on device with zero data transmission. Accessibility has been elevated from compliance to compassion. Text Spotlight introduces a magnification bubble you can place anywhere on the screen. Tap any text and it instantly enlarges, scrolls automatically, and lets you adjust font size, weight, color, background contrast, and scrolling speed in real time. For users with motor limitations, the new mouse keys feature lets you navigate the entire interface using a physical numpad, with customizable acceleration, speed, and directional mapping, plus an accessibility shortcut for instant activation. The Replace Swipe with Single Tap toggle ensures that alarms, alerts, and incoming calls respond to a gentle press instead of a swipe, reducing strain and increasing reliability. These aren't niche features tucked into submenus. They're first-class citizens in the settings hierarchy, reflecting a design philosophy that understands technology should adapt to humans, not the other way around. What makes One UI 9 truly revolutionary isn't any single feature, but the cumulative effect of intentional restraint. Digital fatigue isn't caused by screens, it's caused by context switching, by fake urgency, by interfaces that treat your attention as a commodity to be mined. One UI 9 systematically dismantles that architecture. It doesn't ask you to manage your digital life. It manages it for you, quietly, respectfully, and without overreach. You spend less time hunting for files, less time silencing phantom alerts, less time wondering why your battery is dead by mid-afternoon, less time configuring settings, less time feeling watched. You spend more time actually living. Your screen time drops, not because you installed a digital well-being app or set aggressive limits, but because the phone no longer demands your engagement. It offers it, contextually, and only when it's actually useful. When you're reading, it doesn't push notifications. When you're in a meeting, it doesn't vibrate with low-priority updates. When you're offline, it doesn't waste battery trying to sync with unreachable servers. It just waits. And in that waiting, there's a profound kind of respect. It's not trying to monetize your attention. It's trying to protect it, and that's a radical act in an industry built on extraction. Looking ahead, it becomes clear that One UI 9 isn't an endpoint, it's a foundation. The memory management algorithms, the on-device AI pipeline, the adaptive charging logic, the ecosystem sync protocols, they're all designed to scale. The next iterations will build directly on this architecture, introducing deeper contextual awareness, more refined privacy controls, and enhanced cross-device continuity. But what excites isn't the promise of future features, it's the certainty that the foundation is solid. The phone won't slow down as it ages. The battery won't degrade prematurely from aggressive charging cycles. The AI won't become a surveillance tool disguised as convenience. The ecosystem won't lock you into proprietary walled gardens. It's all built to last, to adapt, to serve, and that longevity isn't just hardware, it's software philosophy. 7 years of updates isn't a marketing slogan, it's a commitment to sustainability, to reducing e-waste, to treating your purchase as a long-term partnership instead of a disposable transaction. Your device will stay secure, stay fast, stay relevant, not because you're forced into an upgrade cycle, but because the system was designed, from day one, to grow with you. So if you're holding this device right now, feeling that quiet shift in your daily routine, that subtle recalibration of how you move through the world, know that you're not just using an operating system, you're living inside a philosophy. One that believes your time is sacred, your privacy is non-negotiable, your attention is yours alone, and sometimes the most revolutionary thing a device can do is simply let you be. It doesn't shout about intelligence. It demonstrates it through restraint. It doesn't track you to help you. It helps by respecting you. It doesn't sell your moments. It protects them. And in a world that profits from your endless scrolling, that quiet confidence isn't just refreshing, it's necessary. Thanks for walking through this journey with me. If this resonated with you, if you felt that same quiet shift in your own daily routine, please hit subscribe and tap the bell. We'll be here, tracking the long-term evolution of One UI 9, testing battery endurance over months, comparing camera consistency across updates, exploring how the ecosystem sync holds up as more devices join the fold, and sharing honest, grounded insights that help you make the most of your technology without the hype. We're not here for headlines, we're here for humanity, for the real-world experiences that remind us why we fell in love with tech in the first place. Until next time, may your updates be smooth, your bugs be temporary, your battery be predictable, and your digital life feel a little lighter, a little calmer, and entirely your own. Take care, friends.